What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. I check out songs from games that I never played or heard about. And in this case, I'm going to be doing a game called Super Robot Wars X. And the song is called Hungry Beasts. This is requested by Aiden as a platinum trophy tier on Patreon. I have done some Super Robot Wars before. I'm not sure if I've done X, and it's been a while, so I kind of don't remember. I just recall that the Super Robot Wars is kind of a little more high energy, kind of Xenoblade-ish, from what I recall. But either way, apparently this is the final boss. So I did not know that. I just looked right here in the little description here. So that's always exciting. So Hungry Beasts, Super Robot Wars X. Okay, that's how it's gonna be. Ooh. Oh, we are medaling out right now. The double bass kick. Wow. Those are all triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's a 12-note run. Oh my god, the drums are so sick. Ooh, the harmonics. I love that you can hear the rhythm with the lead. Woo, this is crazy. Where are we going now? Ooh, we got some thrash going. Triplets. This song's like a really fun song to learn. It doesn't sound that difficult. What a powerhouse, man. It has not slowed down. This must be a very fun boss. Even when it slows down, it's still heavy. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Did I mention this was the first song I heard of the day? So it's a little, good morning. Wake up. Holy moly. Woo! I love video game music, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I wouldn't hear these things anywhere else, you know? Like, of course, there's bands that sound like this and all that, but just the fact that, like, you know, just say someone picked up video games as a hobby randomly and all of a sudden they could just hear that. It's like, it's either going to introduce you to metal, or if you already like metal, then you're like, holy crap. And you start, like, diving into these, you know what I mean? It's just a rabbit hole of bliss. Very thrash metal, very guitar centric. There's a lot of techniques here that I'm going to talk about, and I'm sure there's a lot of drum techniques here. I just don't know drums and drum lingo, but the drummer was going absolutely crazy. There was a lot of rhythm in this, a lot of the rhythm breaks, the double bass kick, the over and over. Yeah, this song actually had one of these things that I don't know what the proper term is, but I think Lamb of God kind of coined the term riff farming, which is basically taking like the rhythmic section of a riff and then turning it into like a very like headbanging kind of like chug. For example, in this one, when the lead is playing some kind of just like lead, and then on the other side you hear the boom, bump, 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 like they're kind of like battling each other, but that's the same exact rhythm of the lead, just kind of like dissected, like they formed the riff out of that. Something like that. I don't know the exact thing. I have to like brush up on it. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. But Mark Morton talks about it, which is the guitarist of Lamb of God, because that's all they do. Lamb of God is all of that, like that style of just like those rhythmic chugs and just random places and just man, it's great. Also, if you like this kind of stuff, I'm definitely going to recommend the games Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and even Dragon Ball FighterZ. All which I've done on this channel, and all which I've discovered on this channel. So I'm trying to think of a band at the top of my head that sounds like that, and I can't really think of one. There's bands that do these kind of things, but I can't think of a band that does this kind of stuff with a like choir. There are a few that come to mind, but nothing sounds similar to this as far as I can think right now. So you actually let me know if you can think of one. I'm sure there are thousands. I just can't recall at the moment. So if you're a guitar player, you definitely recognized a lot of techniques that were going on here. They were abundant. We had dive bombs, which is the sound that kind of sounds like a almost like laser-like. It sounds like a pitch bend, like it's usually used in solos. That's basically, you know, the guitars are anchored on this little thing called a bridge, and the bridge has an arm, so you can manipulate, you know, how that sounds. We had that. We had triplets or gallops, and I think that was the main melody. It was like so it's just pairs or not pairs, but it's groups of 3. I think it was a total of 12. We had harmonies, which is 2 guitars playing a lead. Well, most of the time it's a lead, and one of them's playing the same thing as the other one, but it sounds like a couple frets higher or a third or fourths if you're into that. It's used a lot. It's actually used a lot in Japanese media as well, but it's used everywhere, honestly, everywhere here as well. But I noticed that, like, you know, Japan-centric guitar uses it a lot. We had harmonics, which were those kind of high-pitched little... I don't remember at what point it was, but it was just that part where it was like dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. They sound like really just high-pitched, like almost like ringy bells. Those are just harmonics, which is just placing your, like, the lightest part of your flesh on top of a certain fret, and then it just kind of rings out in a very high fashion. So it was very guitar-centric all over the place, but what was cool about it is that it was mostly like rhythm-based. There wasn't a whole lot of like soloing or anything. It was just like there was leads for sure, but it was mostly about like the headbanging kind of rhythm and just generic drive of like thrash metal, which is just go go go, like mosh pit. And then it was crazy because it never really stopped, which thrash never really stops. But it was cool because it had the choir in it, so that's rare. You never hear thrash is super, like, as far as the genre goes, thrash is very you know, cut and dry. It's just guitars, fast, and, you know, screaming or not screaming, whatever. It's just the whole idea is fast, and there's not a lot of things going on. There's no keyboards, there's no fancy schmancy stuff. So this had a choir and, you know, strings and stuff. So it stood out. I'm going to assume that this is the final boss that I'm seeing right here, who says End the Devourer, which sounds pretty dope. Says Bring Forth a Demise. And the song is called Hungry Beast, so I'm sure there's maybe more than one, or he has like an army or something. Either way, this thing is freaky as hell. It looks like a wolf, shark, griffin thing. Yeah, I definitely don't want to... Yeah, I can see the question marks on the health points too. Yeah, Super Robot Wars is definitely way up there, and I actually have no idea who the composer is. And I am very curious on what else they've done, because this is kind of like a really killer soundtrack. I don't remember if I've done X before, but either way, SRW does not disappoint. This still reminds me of just going to shows. I miss local shows and just thrashing about. So I actually did think of a band that this kind of reminded me of. Kind of. The one I'm about to suggest is a little more black metal. But, you know, if you're into this kind of just crazy stuff, why not give it a try? The band is called Behemoth, and they have a song that I really, really like, and it's probably going to get stuck in your head, and it's called Conquer All. I'll put it in the pinned comment below. So let me know if you check that out, and let me know if it's similar enough. If this wasn't your cup of tea, maybe I'll think of another one. But I like it. It just reminded me of it. I couldn't think of a band, but it's like the closest thing that came to mind. So thank you very much, Aiden, and thank you to all the other Super Robot Wars requesters that I still have way more, by the way. I still have a lot of SR dub. And yeah. Do definitely recommend also Blaze Blue, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear, of course. It's all good stuff. If you want to make a request to me, you could do so on Patreon or PayPal. Either are totally fine. They are guaranteed ways I will check out your song. If you do not want to wait in that gigantic waitlist, because there is a giant waitlist, you can join the platinum tier that Aiden here did, and that basically expedites your request to the top. A big thank you to Aiden, Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, Roguemock, Solid Bullet 066, Your Average Metalhead, Lord Daddy, and Sekai Nuaride. Big thank you to them, and thank you to all my other patrons here as well. Big thanks to the PayPal supporters, and thanks to you for watching and supporting this whole VGM journey that I'm on. VGM rules, doesn't it? Oh, man. Until next time, dudes, dudettes. My name is Jesse. Have a nice day.